Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
me, Rob. And we'll come back to you on Monday with an exciting week ahead of us. Night.
Not many more Mondays before we get to hear that again. That's going to be nice.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to real football. That is nice. But today, guys, listen, we got 1 week left, basically. It's next Tuesday. We got the 20. Is that the 23rd? 26th, sorry. Is going to be official cut day for the NFL. So, again, we've been talking about it, but for those who've been living under a rock, and by living under a rock, I mean just not watching the show, which I don't know if that's really considered living under a rock, but whatever. We're going to go with it. We're going to be going to the game there for you guys to hang out with everybody there on Thursday. So shows are going to be a little weird this week because of that, because I'm going to be literally on a plane when we're doing the show on Wednesday. So Rob and I have to actually post this show to see if we're doing a tape show or if he's going solo Wednesday. We'll figure that out. But while I'm on vacation, it's always a little hard to record. So we wanted to go ahead and get the 53-man roster prediction show done while we still had a chance to do that beforehand. And there's a lot of moves, guys. A lot of moves going to happen. Think about it. 40% of the players in the NFL will basically be unemployed next week.
Oh,
like that's legitimately the actual math there. It's right around that stretch there. So that is like absolutely crazy. So gotta say hi though to Anthony Clemente in the chat there. Yo, what's up? And of course, Mac, the Giants fan who was with us there last week. What's up, man? He said, "What's up, fellas?" Listen, it's that time. And the great thing about this is, you know what that means? It means real football is coming. Real football. No more of this practice. No more of this craziness of, looking at, oh, this person looks good against second string. I wonder what this person can do when the season starts. There'll be no more wondering, because you know what? It'll be time. So we're going to break it down position group by position group here for you guys. And of course, we're going to go ahead and obviously start with the big one that everybody wants to always talk about there. And that's the offense. Because, that's the defense. That's the offense. Listen, we say it all the time. We get it. Everybody loves talking about offense and defense, but defense tends to be the one people want. Defense tends to be the one that kind of gets swept to the side there, because everybody wants to talk about the quarterbacks, the running backs, the receivers. So let's get started right out there now. What we did here is we're talking the typical 53-man roster in an NFL, okay? There's going to be some differences to what we would think the Giants would do based on that, but we'll use that as kind of a blueprint for this whole process here. So typically, the average team will keep 2 quarterbacks on a 53-man roster. And that's where the Giants immediately start changing things up. So obviously, we got Russell Wilson, we got Jaxson Dart, we got Jameis Winston, and we got Tommy DeVito. I think it's pretty safe to say that Jaxson Dart makes the roster. Is that safe, do you think?
yeah.
Yeah. Of all the things to guess, that's one that we don't want to guess on. It's also safe to say that Russell Wilson's going to make the roster. Those are the 2 that you know damn well are not going anywhere. And it breaks it down to going with Jameis Winston and Tommy DeVito. What do we do with those 2? Now, there's been all kinds of rumors about Jameis Winston being trade bait, guys. Again, I've said it all along. I will continue to say it. I will continue to scream it from the rooftops. BS. We're not getting rid of this guy. Like, this is literally the guy that Jaxson Dart said if he could play with anybody as a mentor, it'd be Jameis Winston. We signed him to a 2-year deal. Yeah, he ain't going anywhere. He's a cheap backup for next year. So...
yeah, he's also one of the best backups in the league. So
yeah, and then Tommy DeVito, unfortunately, becomes an odd man out. Like, there's no way to keep 4 quarterbacks. So we got to kind of toss Tommy DeVito off to the side here. And then, listen, if nobody wants to pick him up, then he makes a damn good quarterback to have on the practice squad, considering the experience he brings, not just in the NFL, but in our roster, our playbook. He's been on the team now for 2 years. He knows his playbook probably better than anybody else in the, on the entire roster at this point. Sad, but true. So I'd like to have him on the practice squad. I just don't think he'll be there. I got to think somebody's going to pick him up. I got to hope for his sake someone who picks him up. So that gives us 3 on the roster: Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Jaxson Dart, in whatever order you want to put them in. Now, keep in mind the third quarterback rule in the NFL means that one of them could be the emergency quarterback that is only allowed to enter a game if the other 2 are injured. I think the Giants will definitely utilize that rule so they can keep all 3 quarterbacks on this roster.
100%.
I hate to break it to fans, but I'm not changing what I've said all along. I think Jaxson Dart's that guy.
100%. That's Dart's position. He's the emergency.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, that'll change as the season goes. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that he will get onto the active roster to the point where we can play him a little bit there. But that's not going to happen in the very beginning. It's something that it's a luxury for us to have all these quarterbacks, but it's what we got. It's what we got. As Jay says, what? Sit Dart for a whole year? What? Stop. I'm still saying it. Get him. I haven't changed anything. Let's be very clear on this. I'm excited by Jaxson Dart, but don't rush the kid. Don't do it too quick. As Anthony says, feeling like Dart should start. You just want to say it because it rhymes. We have to bring back our Dr. Seuss series again. Ray Kennedy, Tampa Bay Ray in the house. Is great show, fellas. What's up, man? But yeah, that's where we're at, guys. We got 3 quarterbacks we're to keep, which means we have an extra compared to your average one. So we're gonna have to figure out what we're doing there, because that means we're gonna have to go ahead and get rid of somebody else that we might have kept because we're keeping an extra quarterback. Now, running back wise, we have a few spots to do. So we got this is probably one of the biggest roster bubble decisions in Turbo Miller. So that's something we got to consider in this whole thing. So you got obviously Tyrone Tracy Jr. You got of course Motor, Devin Singletary. You got Cam Scattaboo, we do have the injury concern here going on, but let's see what we got. We got, of course, Eric Gray, who we haven't seen because he's been injured the entire time.
Bye.
And it's funny, like, I'm literally looking at the team's roster because I want to make sure that we don't forget anybody. And they don't have Eric Gray on the active roster, on their actual team roster right now. I mean, I get it, he's injured, but there's injured players like Cam Scattaboo still on it. Jonathan Ward, of course, the guy we picked up late. So let's make the easy ones here, because there's some very easy decisions. Tyrone Tracy Jr. staying, right? I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
Cam Scattaboo
staying.
Can't get rid of a rookie. I mean, he hasn't played her down in the NFL yet. That will be really embarrassing. So that gets you 2 right there. So that leaves you with a few decisions to make, but already 2 aren't going to stay. There's no way in hell Jonathan Ward makes this roster unless there's a whole bunch of, injuries at that point that we're not expecting right now between now and then. And keep in mind, we're shooting this a week before cut day, so who knows what happens. Knock on wood, what happens if somebody gets injured against the Patriots? But Jonathan Ward, not going to make it. And then, of course, Eric Gray, not going to make it. Now, Eric Gray's got to get healthy before they can officially cut him. Now, and as Robert says right here, Scattaboo will be on IR to start the season. That's where things get a little interesting. Because if he does start an IR, then you got an extra roster spot available. So that's something to keep an eye on. Again, I haven't heard too much on that yet. As far as timetable to get him back on, I think they're just not going to rush him, as they shouldn't. No need to rush the kid. But we know already that we're down to, at that point now, Devin Singletary, who I think we got to keep personally. Rob, you on board?
100%.
And Turbo Miller. Dante Turbo-Miller, who I think we got to keep.
He's been a preseason hero thus far, but I think he has the ability to actually show that talent in the NFL.
You know, I saw an interesting stat on him. He's got 11 first downs on offense. The next highest person has 9. That's all of the NFL, not just the Giants. All of the NFL. He's literally leading the NFL in first downs. That's impressive. And he's doing it against backups. We have to kind of like temper that a little bit. But he's looking flat out dominant when he catches the ball. And it's weird to say that about a running back. Flat out dominant. But, you know, you got 4 right there, though. The interesting part, again, what Robert said, will Scatterboo be healthy to start the season? Do they put him on IR? And if you put him on IR, you're down to 3. You know, you got Motor, you got Stracy, you got Turbo. That's the big question is it 4? Do you keep Scatterboo? So I'm going to include it as if we're keeping him and he's healthy because we got to hope that. You know, that's unfortunate. We got to hope. Hoping is not exactly a Giants strength there.
Yeah, Sally.
Yeah, we can kind of snake bit a little bit there. As Deb says, Dart has played against people who will be working at Home Depot after next week. Well, that's not fair. Lowe's is hiring as well.
I was going to say, listen, not every state has a Home Depot like that. There's Costco that's
Ace Hardware.
Yeah. Ace Hardware.
Ace is the place for the people who couldn't make it in the NFL.
There's Raleigh Auto Parts.
But, I mean, listen, he's played half and half. I'm going to give Dart a little more credit than that. He has played against some starters as well. It's been kind of half and half. So, you know, so you got to give at least a little bit there. And Max, the Giants fans, says no need to rush Dart out there. Damn straight. Anthony says, see ya, Gray. And Jay, of course, is future vacuum salesman of America, Deb. Robert NY Giants, Turbo must keep. Damn straight. We've been big on Turbo from the get-go. Jay says, Gray does not annoy me like Hyatt does. Well, they both should annoy you because they both suck.
Wow.
It's the honest truth. Mac, the Giants fan, safe to say Eric Gray ain't making the cut yet. And Jay says, that's our punt return 1, though. Nope. Anthony says, is Gray on the pup? Yes, he is on the pup currently. That's probably why they don't even list him on the roster. But, you know, it's, again, even if he was healthy, he's not making this roster. We've already made that mistake multiple times. It's time to move on. Eventually, you got to say, you know what? This was a mistake. This was a bad move. It is that time to admit this was a bad move. So,
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew as soon as we drafted him it was a bad move.
Wait, you're like, who the hell? No? What? Just saying, we could have had Puka Nacua.
Could have.
I mean, granted, everybody passed the Puka. I'm not suggesting that we knew anything ahead of time. I got to say it because he was drafted after him. Let's see. Anthony says, definitely need to keep Motor. You need a vet in that young RB room. Damn straight. That's his role. And especially when you have guys like Scatterboo that later on in their careers in college when they started developing. You got Tyrone Tracy Jr., who was for all of high school and for half, not a little more than half, because I forget if he did 4 or 5 years in college, was still a receiver, wasn't even a running back yet. Like, yeah, it's key to have a veteran in there. You know, even Turbo hasn't played in 2 years, basically. Like veteran leadership.
Yeah. Maybe like almost even longer.
Well, I mean, you got 2 years basically.
Games 2 years ago.
Last year he kind of practiced a lot, but he didn't play.
Yeah.
The practice squad with us. Matt, Giants fan, got to keep Turbo because there is no way he clears waivers this year. Oh God, no. He'd be picked up in a heartbeat. Anybody let him clear through would be an idiot.
After seeing what he's done so far, yeah.
Jay says Motor salary is pretty much guaranteed. No reason to get rid of him. Damn straight. I hear that all the time. People say that.
Save like $500,000, maybe $1 million. And then NFL, it's not worth it. Like, I wasn't the biggest fan of him coming to the Giants because, like, just as fancy watching him. Like, everyone's like, oh, he's such a great running back in this league. Like, great is stretching it. He's an RB1, yes. Is he a solid RB1?
No. He's a borderline one. Let's be honest.
Yeah, especially that's later in his career. Like, yeah, that's how I took it. And like to pick him up, like it was all right because we didn't have any solid player there, and we just relied on the draft, which I mean, granted, helps set up what you call it, Tracy Jr.
When I said really scary, I did look up the math. Devin Singletary, if we cut him, it's $6 million in dead cap, and we save $250,000. Yeah, he's not going anywhere, guys. I mean, granted, it's a June. You can do. I don't think we've done anybody post June 1st, so I think you can do that still. But even then, you're still eating almost $5 million and save $1.5. It ain't worth it. Really, it's not worth it. So, Anthony says, "What did Roberto do for his 40th birthday?"
Went crazy.
That's every day. It's not a birthday.
Oh, not anymore. I'm old.
I'm so old.
I'm so old. No, that the missus took me out to dinner. She threw me a little surprise party. It was nice. Yeah, had a nice time with the kid. Went down, had some lake time.
He was contemplating his life slipping away.
Yeah, I was like, filthy 40. Ugh. Suddenly, the idea of running just hurts my knees.
Oh, listen, my knees are killing me right now as we speak. Even it's bad. It's bad. Anthony says he is a tier 2 RB1. That's a lot of words.
I would almost say tier 3. Because like you say tier 2 is middle of the pack. Tier 3 is like he's towards the end.
That's what I'm saying. Like he is that like not a below average starter to above average backup at this point. And you know what? 2 years
ago, yes, but we picked him up. Like I would say, like he's a bottom level tier 2, top 3. Like listen, if you're doing fantasy and he's your RB1, even a 12-man league, you're probably in the draft right.
Yeah, and obviously that's why he was a starter last year, and we were going, Jay says, did all the old lady waitresses at the Golden Corral sing happy birthday?
It was Captain's in Forked River.
Robert NY Giants is as good as Winston is as a backup. Giants will listen to offers. If they get a wide receiver or a decent draft pick, Giants will pull the trigger. I would say this. You're not wrong there. I think part of my reasoning for saying that he's going to be on the roster no matter what is I don't think they're going to get that kind of offer. Like, what would you have to get to trade him? Seriously. Like, what would you go, okay, well, that makes sense to get rid of a guy who's on a team-friendly contract for 2 years and is literally the guy we drafted said I would love to have as a teammate. He'd be a good mentor for me. Like that, you have to really get a good offer. And I don't know, is it a 3rd round pick you need?
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody's giving that. I mean, if it's a day 3 pick, is it really worth getting rid of this guy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if like you would get like third round. He might even drop because of his age, but
not to mention we say he's one of the best backups in the league, and we have no problem saying that. But when did we get him? It wasn't the first day or two of free agency. Like, you got to also consider that part of it. So he's on his cap number this year is $3 million. It's just $5 million next year. Good luck getting a backup or quarterback for $5 million with his ability.
We had Tyrone Taylor 2 years ago, paid him more money, and I think Winston's a better Tyrone Taylor, whatever.
We actually pronounced it too. Remember, he corrected people a couple years ago. It's not Tyrod anymore. It's like T-Rod or something like that. I forget.
Yeah, T-Rod.
I forget what it is. Once he went to the Jets, I stopped paying attention. Extra Sauce says, how likely are we to release Nacho or Bellinger? We're going to get to those two, but I'm going to say one of them I think will go and one of them will stay. I'll let you decide for yourself here. Which one do you think I mean in a minute? Anthony says, I would want a 3rd rounder for him. New Orleans might do that with no decent QBs. That's possible. Like I said, anything's possible. Like I always tell people, nothing is impossible basically in the world of football. You never know what the hell is going to happen. But again, I think for a guy that was hanging around for a little while, New Orleans could have signed him if they wanted him. You don't think he would have gone back there? Especially with the chance to start.
I was supposed to say they need some talent in QB. They have a very weak QB position. Oh my God. They just room.
The worst QB room than us.
It's probably the worst in the past 5 years. It's probably like one of the worst quarterback rooms in the past 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe that this is where we're at, but this is where we're at. So, Jay says, I don't think any teams would give a crap about Jameis. To be honest, teams have young options to roll the dice with before crab legs. I think it depends on how some of the young guys are performing, and it also depends also on injuries. Injuries happen every single time. Jay says third rounder AC. And Kay says, cut both Nacho and Bellinger. We save almost $8 million. Yeah. Problem is, we need one of them. Jay says, I am scared to cut Nacho. It's like Jay's a mind reader. Anyway.
Yeah.
as we totally tell people exactly the plan. Listen, let's get to the wide receiver room. Because that's where there's a little bit of intrigue here. Now, let's cut the BS right off the bat. We know who's going to be here. Obviously, Neighbors is going to be here. Slayton is going to be here. Wandale is going to be here, and unfortunately, Hyatt's going to be here. That's your 4 spots right there.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of who do you like?
You keep it Cons because you caught the 8-yard bomb.
You know what? It's not just the bomb. Like, honestly, I think you look at the 2 guys, you go either Bo Collins. I think that's the guy you look at there, or Montrell Washington. I think those are the 2 guys that is kind of in between. And I think whoever you pick for the 6th spot is going to be your guy that is your returner more than anything else. And that's where I don't know which one they prefer. I really don't. But I'm telling you right now, if it's me, as much as Montrell Washington definitely had the early lead, I would take Bo Collins. He's the young kid. Like, no one knows what he is yet. Montrell Washington sat on the practice squad for 2 years with the Chiefs. Like, you don't think he got good coaching there? You know, like you don't think he went to a team that needed a receiver room there and couldn't make the field still? And I think it's maybe not fair because we don't know obviously what happened in Washington. I mean, in Kansas City with Washington. But to me, that's like, at least for me personally, again, only being able to know what I get report wise in practice and being able to see what I see in preseason. That to me is part of the deciding factor. Is I got a kid who's never played in the NFL come in as a pure rookie, and I have a guy that's been around the league for 2 years and hasn't done a damn thing.
I feel like it's a damn thing.
Fair or not, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I like Montrell Washington, and I would love to have him on our practice squad. Let me be very clear on that. I would love to have him on the practice squad if nobody takes him, because he's done the work this offseason. He's gone ahead and, done a lot of things that it's asked of him there, but he hasn't done anything. That's the problem. And I need someone that I think can do a little more, and as Extra Sauce said, we can use Collins' size. Collins, people don't realize he's 6'3". He's a bigger guy. And there's a guy I didn't even mention in this whole fold at that point that really you could have had the conversation with as well, is lil'jordan Humphreys, because he's a big guy as well. Wandale,
one of the worst names in the league.
Yes, there's an award for that. Who would get it? But Wandale smaller. Neighbors, I know he plays like a bigger guy because he's got that dog mentality, but he's not a big receiver. He's a smaller receiver. Slayton's a smaller receiver. Hyatt is decent height, but he's the weight of a toothpick. So it's like, you got to think that size is going to come part of it. So again, I think it's Bo Collins. And I think Montrell Washington is somebody you're going to try to pop onto the practice squad. I think they probably wouldn't mind if they can also put lil'jordan Humphrey on the practice squad as well. And listen, I'll say this point blank: Hyatt, get your shit in gear,
because you'll be packing yourself out. Actually, you might go to Jets.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I could see a scenario where they go, you know what? Like, I'm not talking in the beginning of the season. I'll be very clear on that. But if halfway through the season, let's say he's got 100 yards, has a season like he had last year, I could see them going, maybe this is the end. Maybe this is where we got to realize this was a bad move. And again, he wasn't a high draft pick, guys. I know some people said he might have been a late first round pick, but he ended up being the 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
His cap number is 1.5 million this year, guys. 1.8 next year. He's cuttable. And again, I don't think they do it at the beginning of the season, but it wouldn't shock me at all if they told somebody point blank, put in the work. We might make some moves. We might get you midseason back up here from the practice squad. This is his last chance, Jalin Hyatt, to show what he can do. So, are we in agreement on Collins? Since that's the one we're talking about right now.
100%.
So, 6th spot for the wide receivers is between one of two people: Amir Smith-Marset and Gunnar Olszewski. That's the two guys that, because one of these guys needs to be the kick returner / punt returner.
Olszewski is like the guy that the Daves have liked the past year for.
Well, I mean, he was hurt last year. That's why we got, Amir Smith-Marset, who also did very good as a punt returner. Like, I don't want to, take away what he did. I mean, he looked just as good as a punt returner, I feel like, as Gunnar Olszewski did. But you know what the difference between those two players for me right now is? I see Gunnar putting the work in as a receiver.
Yes.
And maybe I'm just stupid. But to me, I look at that and go, you know what? Here's a kid who's trying to set on the offense. He's caught a couple balls. Maybe in a pinch, we can actually use him as a receiver. I haven't seen Amir Smith-Marset out there as a receiver, too much. Actually catching the ball. He's been out there as a decoy. That's it. He's also been dealing with his own injury at that point there. So, but as Anthony says, because you're 100% right, man, he's got baby arms. He says Gunnar has had some decent plays in the passing game, but he has baby arms. He does. He's a little T-Rex. He's a baby.
Ball really tight.
We should call him the Raptor. Gunnar the Raptor Olszewski. But again, he's at least he's providing something on offense. And if I really got to look at the scenario, and I think both of those guys are decent returners. I don't think either one of them, you go, oh, that's not a good returner. Or you go, oh, this guy's clearly much better as a returner than the other guy. And I think that's part of it. He's been healthy. He's been doing something on offense. I think that's the guy you got to go with. An agreement, Rob? Or
agreement?
No.
I already said it beforehand, so yeah.
I'm hoping at one point you disagree with me. Disagree.
Well, I said Olszewski before, so yeah. I actually let off, so you were supposed to disagree with me, if anything.
Let's see. Let me go back to where we were here. Where we go here. Okay, there we go. Anthony says, I think Collins and Washington stay. I just don't know how you keep both. We're already keeping an extra quarterback. We got to figure out where to have one less guy later on. That's my only concern. I don't know. I just don't know where you keep both. But yeah, like I said, I like both of them. I think they both stay here. It's just a matter of, can we sneak Washington out of the practice squad,
You kind of hard, but
Dips, I hope it's Collins. Giants fan, I prefer Collins to Washington. We already talked about needing Collins' size. Chewy says it's between lil'jordan and Collins. Daboll always keeps one big wide receiver for end zone packages. Yes, he does. Sometimes that person is just an overpaid paperweight on the roster, like Kenny Golladay, but he tends to. Anthony says Hyatt is a bum. I'm sure he has a home.
Sure, he made enough to buy at least one house.
Yeah, exactly. This year alone. Jay says Shane won't cut him due to the optics, but I hope they do. Deb says Giants have a history of hanging on to guys who are not performing. Get rid of Hyatt. And like I said, I think you got to give him this. I do think you got to give him the start of this year because of the change in the quarterback room. Because I do think part of the problem was the fact that who the hell was getting him the ball?
100%. Boyle.
Like you got a guy who's his only thing he does is run fast down the field.
And the only thing we don't do is throw the ball deep down the field
accurately. We didn't still throw it. We just throw it up and it was nowhere near anybody who can catch it.
Yeah.
So like I said, I do think that's what you got. Is you got a situation where you're going to say to him point blank, We need you to start rolling, and you are on thin ice.
Deep.
And I don't think there's nothing wrong with telling him that up front. If I was him, I would rather hear from my coaches and my front office at that point saying, you know what? We have faith in you. We really do, but we haven't seen it. And we need to see it. We need to see it quickly because we have guys here we also like that we're going to have to cut one of them and hope he lands on our practice squad just to keep you. That's us showing the faith we have in you, but you got to reward that faith. And if you don't, we're going to have to cut ties. There's nothing wrong with having that blunt conversation like that.
No. Hey, nut up or shut up.
I would respect it. I would.
Yeah.
I really would, especially after 200 yards last season. You know, I just that's where I'm at. Anthony, oh, we do that one right there. As extra sauce, so does Wandale about the little baby arms. Yes, he does. And it's just Saucy does, but Robinson has a much higher ceiling. If he can ever catch the ball, yes. Yes. Jay says if Bo pops, that might be the most satisfying pick of the last 20 years. If Bo pops, he is the Slayton of the offensive line.
It's true.
Robert NY Giants says Kayvon Thibodeau needs to be traded to get something for him before he demands more money. Respectfully disagree. This is our strength. I want to keep it our strength. Plus, we still have no clue what Carter is. What if Carter's a bust? I know everybody thinks it's a foregone conclusion. He's great, but what if he's a bust? We got to see. Plus, trust me, we've gone over this before in the past. We can fit him in. Because by the time he needs money at that point, you figure the first year is a little lighter. We still have him for 2 years right now, so you're talking 3 years down the road. At that point, Brian Burns is probably leaving. Like, we got the money. That won't be a problem, I promise. Cases, I think Fedone would be a good red zone threat. We're going to go into him. As Jay also says, Fedone might be the final nail in the coffin for Bellinger. He can now go on to be a Pro Bowler elsewhere. He says, Anthony says, you could carry 3 tight ends. You're not wrong that you could carry 3 tight ends.
Some carry 4. You look crazy.
Some carry 7. No, they don't. They don't want to carry 7.
I was about to say.
I have a 50 of all tight ends.
Yeah.
So on the tight ends, you got Daniel Bellinger, you got Greg Dulcich, you got Thomas Fedone the second Esquire, you have Theo Johnson, you got Chris Manhurst, and you got Jermaine Terry the second. So let's keep it obvious with who's not going anywhere. And the one name you could say guaranteed not to go is Theo Johnson, right?
Yeah, I was about to say Theo stays.
Yeah, Theo stays. We already lost one Theo this year. We can't lose another.
No.
Too soon.
Theo.
Oh, I did it. Someone's gonna complain now. Watch. That was too soon. I knew him personally. Malcolm Schmallwater is my best friend. So
we're going. Staying.
Now let's go with the guy that we know is not going to stay. Jermaine Terry the second. He's not staying.
Yeah.
So that leaves you with 2 spots with 4 guys: Daniel Bellinger, Greg Dulcich, Thomas Fedone, and Chris Manhurst. Manhurst is the guy that's definitely staying.
He's a blocker.
Exactly. As Deb just said the same thing. Is the Manhurst a good blocker? Yeah. Exactly.
He's a guy that might get you 200 yards on the year, but he'll be your 6th offensive lineman.
Yes. If he gets 200 yards of the season, that's a good season for him.
That's what I'm saying. He might get you that.
He's like Howard Cross. He's a tight end, but just for show.
Pretty much.
Remember Cross back in the day? He did like 100 yards.
Crisscross.
Make you jump. So that's 2. We got 1 more spot. So now we're down to Daniel Bellinger, Greg Dulcich, and Thomas Fedone.
It's Fedone.
And you know what? Bellinger, I'm sorry. And I agree with Jay. I really do think Daniel Bellinger is that guy that will go elsewhere and probably succeed. And I don't think it's just going to happen here. For whatever reason, there's issue with him and his coaching staff, I feel like. Because his has gone down every single year.
Well, look at his rookie year, like 450, like came up some big plays. Like he did great. Second year, it's like even with his injury, he had 450. Then go to year 2, right? Yeah, we got Walker there. Yeah, to
Texas Ranger.
Take away from some of his moves, but it was just a sheer lack of him being in place. And like Bellinger was a good blocker too. Like that's what we thought he was going to be. Like a little guy that'd be not so much 450 yards, like an improvement man hurts. Like maybe not as tough, but like got to get the job done that you can sneak in and like in the red zone.
Yep. And like I said, it's a shame because I like Bellinger.
So do I.
But I think Darren Waller
jersey
would never have been here if the Giants really liked Bellinger. I think there's something about him that they don't like. And I don't know if it's locker room wise.
I think
got to be something there he doesn't like.
I think probably what happened, and it's just me putting on the goofball helmet and thinking out of the box here. I think Bellinger had a great first year. Fantastic, some people say. And what did Giants fans bang the drum about? We need to get Daniel Jones a weapon. He needs a weapon. He needs a weapon. Go out to the market, get a weapon. What were we trying to do? Save money in cap, get a weapon. We weren't going to spend $20 million on a wide receiver. So you go spend $14 million on Bellinger and say, here's your weapon. Go figure it out. Bellinger probably got upset about it. Probably said a few things. So like, what about my future? I thought I was your guy. That's what you told me when you drafted me. And
first off, I don't think anyone ever told him you're our guy, you're the future, where they drafted him in the 4th round.
Well, I'm saying like he probably had a little bit more of come to what he thought, and all of a sudden he probably felt dirty by like going out and getting Waller. I mean, it says something. I don't know. Maybe there was something said before that, and that's why we got Waller. But I don't know.
I just think something happened behind the scenes that we don't know. I really do. I've always thought that with him. And like I said, I've never heard a bad word about him. It's not me trying to throw anything out there like that. It's just weird to me. Something happened. Now here's the other part about it too. And I saw a comment about it here, but over the cap with him, we see $3.4 million by getting rid of him. Bellinger.
Yeah.
$3.4 million, guys. Now we just talked about it. We think Bellinger can succeed elsewhere. So when I hear people say, "Oh, you're just going to pick somebody up off the streets like that," why would somebody ever release somebody good? Well, here's Bellinger, and there's plenty of people that think Bellinger's good. So yeah, that's why we think
for a 6th-round pick somewhere.
That's why I think somebody might be available.
Yeah,
call me crazy, So I think he's gone. I think. Like you said, a trade. I would trade him in a heartbeat if somebody wanted him. I really would. Because if you trade him, you're still saving $3.4 million and you get something for him. I just looked to verify. We're still saving the money. So I just don't know what anybody's going to give you. But like you said, 6th-round pick, even I don't care. I'm going to cut him. I'm going to get whatever I can. So we'll see. I mean, those conversations that we had after the game. Because you got the game on Thursday, you got the cut day on Tuesday. It's going to be a very, very busy weekend, I guarantee you. People talking on the phone about what they could or could not do. So, Greg Dulcich, by the way, I think is somebody they're going to want to put on the practice squad. I do think they like him. I just don't think that they like him more than Fedone.
Yes, fair.
And you want one tight end. And I just don't think Terry's got it. We didn't like Terry at the beginning when we first picked him up as UDFA. So maybe it's us being biased on our original opinions. I don't know. But he hasn't done anything that's gone, ooh, look at Terry. Look what he did.
Look at Scary Terry number 2. Nope.
Oh, my gosh. Let's get to the offensive line here, guys. So we got 9 players, people we usually keep on the offensive line. Now, keep in mind, we still have an extra spot we took at the quarterback position. So we either need to take one away here, or we're going to have to take away somebody on the defense. So let's see what we got here. You got Andrew Thomas, assuming he comes in. Okay. You got Runyon. You got JMS. You got Van Roten. Like, these are all people we're saying. You got Illuminor. He's staying. You got, I know people are going to hate this one, Evan Neal staying.
Yep.
Evan Neal is staying. Marcus Bowe is staying. Everybody loves that one. Marcus Bowe is staying. So I'm going to give you another one I hate. Hudson is staying.
Sally.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right there. 8. And again, we gotta figure out the one spot.
There you go. Keep Bellinger, put Manhurts over there.
So I'm saying we're gonna probably have to take it from the defense. And I think part of it is because there's some movement around with defense. We have guys that play multiple positions on defense that can help some of that issues. You know, Carter can play linebacker. Golston can play defensive end. He can play He can play the edge position. There's a couple of spots he can be at. So I'm gonna say we take one away from the defense to make up for the extra quarterback. We're to keep 9, and I'm gonna say the guy we keep comes down to 2 people. So I think it's gonna come down to either Aaron Stinney or Josh Ezeudu.
But Ezeudu is doo-doo.
Yeah, he is.
Stinney must be the keepy.
You know what he is? I feel like Josh Ezeudu is the Daniel Jones of the offensive line.
That's fair.
Like, the Giants have done him, first off, no favors. Again, we've said it before, he's a verb because they put him in the wrong position. Okay. But then on top of that, he just looks good enough to give you hope every so often. You know what I mean? Like, every so often you're like, oh, wait, he had a decent game there, Stinney did. Maybe we should keep him. Maybe he's going to develop after all. I don't see it personally. I would do Aaron Stinney. And we also save $1.4 million by cutting Josh Ezeudu, by the way, because he's in his last year. And I know nobody wants to talk about the money part. They want to talk about the fun part, what you see in the field. The money part is part of it.
A big part of it.
It is. We just saved $5 million, guys, by just cutting Bellinger to Ezeudu. That's a lot. But, you got on there now. You got your starting 5. You got Illuminor, who can move around if need be. You got Van Roden, who can move to center if need be. So you got some, even with the starting 5, you got some movement abilities there at that point. You got Neal, who they're going to play at guard, but in a pinch, if you really had to, could play him tackle. Nobody wants to see it, trust me. Nobody wants to see it. But in a pinch, you got it. You got Bo, who literally plays all 5 positions. You got Hudson, who probably should stay on the bench. And then you got Stinney, who's played both guard positions. You got some versatility there. And I think I really think that's probably the best way to go. And you're talking about a whole lot of guys now that would be gone. Stone Forsythe would be gone. Austin Schlapman would be gone. Jason Williams would be gone. There's still guys, and Schlapman's a guy I would have loved to keep. Jake Kubis, who I see Jay talk about there, gone. I don't think he's any good. I never did. I think the Giants would love to sneak him onto the practice squad in this scenario, but I don't think he's good. I never got the hype on him really, but what do I know? Brian Hudson, gone. Jimmy Morrissey, gone. So yeah, we got some guys here that are gone. But it's nice that we actually have people like some of those guys I could actually imagine somebody picking up. That's the scary part. Like, I can see somebody picking up Josh Ezeudu.
Oh, definitely.
Actually playing him at the right position and actually developing him. Yeah, not so subtle dig. So
yeah,
like I said, I think when's the last time we've had guys that we are going to cut on the offensive line that we go, somebody else might pick them up?
15 years.
Been quite a while, guys. It's been quite a while. So, all right. Let's pay the bills real quick, and then we're going to come on back and do the defense. Guys, we actually plan on talking about a couple of topics here today that, quite frankly, I don't think we're even going to get to. We're already 45 minutes in, and all we did is talk about the offense. So, so before we do that, though, we will go ahead and read a couple of the comments here you guys have. Anthony says, Bellinger's going to go to Philly and be a Pro Bowler. Don't you dare say that.
Don't say such things.
I don't mind Neal staying.
Shut your poor mouth.
Listen, I don't mind Neal staying because of his contract. I get nothing by cutting him. Why would I cut him? I gotta hope that he just pans out as a guard. It's a guaranteed contract. You gain nothing. You just have a $7.8 million dead cap hit by cutting him. You know? And is there one guy that you're like, ooh, I wish we can cut Neal and keep this guy? Like, seriously, is there that guy for you?
No.
Like, again, Josh Azudu is probably the best guy we're cutting.
Once again, Azudu is doo-doo.
Exactly. Jason, I don't think Evan Neal is better than GVR. I don't think he's necessarily better, but I do think they want to give him a chance to perform at guard and see what he can do. Because again, he's a free agent at the end of the year. They spent a lot of time with him. They want to keep him. Makes them look good by keeping him. Jason's Evan Neal wasn't great last game. No. We just say Evan Neal wasn't great and change last to any. Evan Neal wasn't great any game.
No.
I can't think of one game that I was like, ooh, Evan Neal did good this game. Good run blocker, which is why you like him in the guard position. I can actually see a scenario where they decide to go and go like a 6 offensive line and pop him in on like goal line stances and stuff like that. I could see that. At least we get something for that, millions of dollars. Jason, Stinny's feet look like they're in bricks sometimes. Yeah, he's not a very mobile guard. He's not the guy you're putting into, pools and stuff like that. But he's got experience. It doesn't look as bad as some of the guys have. And he's cheap. Mac, the Giants fan, says, I think with some of the improvements on the O-line, it makes a guy like Manhurst more expendable. Depends if the O-line stays healthy for once.
I was about to say, you're not wrong, but you also have to prove that they're able to stay healthy and effective through the whole year before you cut a guy like that. So expendable down the road, yes. Expendable right now, no, because you have to make sure it works before you get rid of it. It's like quitting a job before you have another job lined up.
Yeah. Anthony says you need Manhurst for 12 personnel. Fedoni isn't a blocking tight end. Yeah, and I think that's honestly his blocking is the only reason he's got a job still. He's been in the league for like 12, 13 years now. He's a blocker. That's what he is.
Yeah.
Jay says Manhurst can keep the offense functional, and one of the tackles is getting annihilated. Yes. Tends to happen. Deb says you're actually 55 minutes in late, but Rob was late. Oh my gosh.
Well, listen. I was a couple minutes late, and Drew does what Drew does in the backstage, and then we were 10 minutes late.
Excuse me. Drew was here on time 10 minutes before the show started.
Yeah, I got on when the show was supposed to start, and then Drew goes in and talks on a 10-minute rant, saying real fast before the show, and then we start 10 hours.
I'm sorry that I wanted some preparation before there. Okay.
Preparation.
I knew you were going to make a joke about that, but what you're supposed to do for a show. Sound check, go over the topics.
Ointment or cream?
Discuss. Wow.
Spot story.
Oof. Shots at Rob again.
Thank you, AC. Sucks at Rob again.
You start talking, Rob. The show starts at 10 minutes till.
I can't control Yonkers traffic, man. I was up in White Plains and Yonkers today.
Jason knows his Neal just has so many bad reps where he gets beat badly. Yes. At least he's got less as a guard so far. Because he hasn't played as many reps, but yeah. Jay says, when things go bad for Evan Neal, it looks like a blooper reel. Jay Snow, you are right. Yeah. Said. Robert NY Giants says, what's the status with Neighbor's injury? So it was dropped today. He's got a back injury, but nothing too crazy. So they don't expect any issues. It's just kind of keep him out as a precaution. I think he's just under bubble wrap right now, guys. What it boils down to. Bubble wrap Neighbors. You don't need him right now. He'll be fine. He can catch the ball. Like, nothing changes early. It's not like you need all this time with him and Russell Wilson. He had that all off season. He'll be fine. Jay says, what do you guys think of Turbo? I'm not big in him. Every time it gets a little muddy, he bounces it to the outside. Yes, because he's a receiving back, not a running back. 100%. But we're a big fan. We've been a big fan before anybody else. We were a big fan of Turbo Miller before it was cool.
Really, from like his being not able to be at the combine.
Yeah,
to him. His unofficial combine numbers.
Exactly. He says for a certain amount of carries, he's only averaging like 2 yards a carry. Yeah, like I said, he's not good as a running back yet. But he's a damn good receiving back. Tell me one time he caught the ball, it wasn't a first down, basically.
The one time he was tackled before the sticks.
I'm just saying. That's where I'm at. I mean, I feel like he is he's that guy that he's got a role. He'll never be a lead back. Like I said, I compared him to Deuce Vaughn. That kind of guy. Like he's not Deuce Vaughn, I'm sorry. Deuce Staley. No, damn it. Who am I thinking of? What the hell is his name now? Not Vince Vaughn. You're trying to mess me up. Who's the guy that played for the Eagles for a while towards the end of his career? The tiny receiver that played forever.
Oh, Sneaky.
Tiny running back played forever.
Oh, running back.
I'm drawing a blank now. Why am I drawing a blank? Didn't he played for the Chargers too, didn't he? Darren Sproles.
Oh yes, Sproles. He was in the league forever.
I think that's what he is. That's his ceiling, is a Darren Sproles type, a Danny Woodhead type. Like that kind of player. Like I don't think he'll ever be a lead back that goes and starts carrying the ball 20, 30 times a game, and you're like, oh, look at him go. He's a change of pace guy. That's what he is. He says, wouldn't you make Neighbors have the toe surgery in the offseason? You can't make him. And I don't know to know if he even should. Let me be clear on that as well. But you can't force a player to have surgery. That'd be against pretty much every single medical, law on the books with employers. Like if you hurt yourself, let's say at work, and you broke your leg, and you needed a surgery in your leg, they can't force you to do it.
They could try. Just wouldn't go well.
So your body, your choice kind of scenario. What it is. But again, I don't even know if he needed it. He's talked about getting in this next offseason, but I don't know if he needed it. I don't have his medical stuff. Anthony says, let Turbo cook. No, let him catch the ball. Don't let him cook. We don't need to cook on the team. Jay says, yeah, it's weird showing up to camp with an injury, kind of lame. Was that a pun right there? Kind of lame. I see what you did, Jay. I see what you did. Let's see. Jay says, Turbo's job will be Scattaboo's. No, Scattaboo's job will be Motor's job. I think that's what's going to happen. He's a different player. Plus, what is the one thing that Tracy sucks at besides fumbling? Because we're hoping that's going to be fixed. He's not good in pass protection. We don't know who Scattaboo is yet because we haven't seen him actually play even in preseason. Turbo has been good in pass protection. I'm telling you guys, I've been watching that. He is good in pass protection. Again, he's been playing backups. So, we'll have to see what he does against actual starters and stuff like that. But third down back, that's a roll. That's a roll. Robert NY Giants, I think Bobby Okereke will have a bounce back year.
I hope so.
Years. Yeah, we need him. I think people forget how good he was 2 years ago for us.
Every snap kind of down guy.
Jay says, these highlights, it's all against vacuum salesmen. Nothing is real. They said Sproles was the badass at Kansas State. Yes, he was. Sproles from Giants fans. And Jay says, Sproles is a way different level. Sorry. Oh, I'm not saying he's the same level, but I'm saying that's the kind of role he would have. A return specialist, a receiving back who occasionally runs the ball. But let's be honest, Sproles never ran the ball very much himself either. Like, that's his role. He's a third down back. Sproles was basically the ultimate third down back in his playing days. So Anthony says, Jace, no, Turbo will 100% have his plays and uses on this team. We still have no idea if Scat's even going to play good or not yet. It's very true. Again, we don't know. I don't count on rookies till they play. I have no clue what they are until I see them play. And again, not against vacuum salesmen. Anthony says, I hated Sproles. Well, maybe Sproles hated you too. I don't know. Jay says, you can't force, but it's in their contracts. They need to take whatever medical advice to be able to play. Again, we don't know what the medical advice is. Guys, it's not even a worthy argument for us to have for whether he should have had surgery. Unless somebody has his medical profile lying around, which first off, shame on his doctor if that's the case.
Yeah, so needs to call HIPAA.
Yeah, seriously. But like, we don't know, fully what's going on, obviously, because we don't have access to it. So we're speculating here that this is like a Christian Wilkins kind of scenario. Like, we don't know. So before we get all speculative, let's wait and see what happens. Jace knows his one Scats is healthy. We don't need Turbo on this roster. Again, different role. I do think we do personally, but we'll see. Let's see what he does in the regular season. Again, all his stuff he's had in preseason has been against backups. Eric Gray looked good last year in backups. So let's see what happens. Anthony says, did Turbo do something to you, Jay Snow? I think Turbo gets cut. Jay says, if Turbo's name was like Will Johnson or Bob Smith, he would get cut. No, he would not. Stop. Jason says, yeah, I think he practice squad. I don't think he does. I think someone takes a shot. If you're telling me this kid's literally got 11 first downs in 2 games, he's not even played the whole game. You don't think someone's going to do it? There's no way in hell. Robert says, what's the deal with Banks? Big disappointment. That pretty much sums up the deal with Banks. You answered your own question. Big disappointment. We have said on this show many times he counts on his physical attributes to succeed. And he has gotten to the point where he's just not that, not able to do that anymore. You get to a point as a professional player where people caught up to you. You're going now against the best of the best of the best.
Sir.
That's what happens. When you can't turn your head, you don't get interceptions. And if you're not going to listen and change up what you do, you're not going to improve. Your speed can only get you so far. Your fluidity can only get you so far. And getting thrown to the wolves last year didn't help me.
No.
Anthony says the surgery conversation about as crazy as Jay thinking we're beating the Chiefs. I knew he would do that. Jay still says, what I'm saying is if the toe is a problem this year, it's going to be a bad look. Yes. Oh, no, you're not wrong at all. And people will probably speculate whether he should have had surgery. But again, it's not fair for us to do that without having the medical information. There's even for goofballs, there's places we draw lines. We don't have the information to even give you guys an opinion on that. It's not fair.
Yeah.
Plus, maybe the doctor said you're fine, and then all of a sudden he re-aggravated it. We don't know. As I said before, about to pay the bills, and all of a sudden Anthony helps pay the bills there with 99 super.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate your support as always, man. Jake says, I'm a doctor. I got the info.
Dr. Snow. Dr. Snow.
Jay says, what? That's all you do is speculate, Jiro. I speculate with actual information, though. There's a difference. I'm not just gonna make up stuff out of the thin air. Like, let me pull out a fake vanilla folder. I got his file right here, guys. Oh, look, this was here right next to my latest colonoscopy report.
You also asked for 3 fingers this time.
I want the full rotor. Oh my gosh. And then Jay says, Jay Snow, sorry, we got to clarify, there's too many Jays. He says Daniel Jones was a stud the preseason his first year. He was also a stud his first season, if we're going to be honest about it.
For the Giants.
Broke the record for most touchdowns as a rookie. That's what happens. You never know what's going to happen here. Chill Daddy says, what in the algorithm is this? Listen, you never know what you're going to get in YouTube. That's what happens. Here you are with us talking Giants football, speculating on medical files we don't even have access to. That's what happens here on the show. Craziness, man.
Yeah,
Trust me. We're a little insane. It is what it is. Jay gives the angry face. And he said, anytime, man, guys, appreciate the show. Again, appreciate you, man. As Jay ups him by 1 penny with the super step for $10.
We got 10-01. We got 10-01. 10-01 go once. 10-01 go twice.
10-01. Do we hear 10-01?
Looking at you.
That's what we should do. We gotta add. I gotta add like a thank you sound effect too in the board. We should do that. Like I don't know. I gotta think about what I want to do. We should add that though. That'd be a little fun doing the sound effects here. All right, guys.
Yeah.
I think what we're gonna do here, because we're an hour in, guys. We haven't talked anything except the offense yet. I think we're gonna save the defense for next episode because we can't be 3 hours here. No. So let's actually do the pay the bills segment here, even though you guys have already helped pay the bills for us. And again, we appreciate that. And then we're going to go ahead and we got a couple of stories we can give you here that we have saved up ready to go. And then we'll go back, I said, with the defensive side of the ball there on the next episode.
Thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
All right, guys. Listen, first off, thank you to Chill Daddy. He says subbed and liked, man. Much appreciation. I was kidding when I said, do I hear a 10-01 out there? But there's going right into there with the 10-01.
Yeah, thank you. I was only teasing.
Do I hear 10-02? Do I hear
10-02? 10-02. Go, come on, 10-02. Let's go.
If I knew that was going to happen, like, do I hear $1,000?
Yeah. Do I hear a new car? Got a new car. I got a 2006 ride. Let's go.
As Jason had paid the bills, and Jay says there's enough super chats for the Golden Corral after the show.
Yeah, it's all for one guy though.
Oh my god. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how much it costs to eat at the Golden. Again, there's no even Golden Corrals open. We got to pick a new restaurant. We do. There's no Boston Markets either. I'd say that. I feel like Boston Market is a fast food Golden Corral, basically. Oh, there we go. Back to Kids fan with the 10-02. 10-02.
10-03. Do I hear 10-03? 10-03. Go.
Do I hear a 10-03?
Matt, thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
Much appreciate.
We're getting way too much love today. I feel like we almost should be diving into the defense. I just feel bad. Anthony says, look at the community supporting tonight. Damn straight, man. Listen, you guys always support us. Listen, money-wise or not, seriously, you guys always do. You show up, you get involved. I love it. I really do. You know, it's much appreciation to you guys there. And that, like I said, we got new people in here with Chill Daddy and all too as well, and Jay Snow being all active and all too. So again, appreciate you guys. Whether it's first show, you know, long time supporter. Like I said, it's always a blast doing this show. We have a lot of fun doing it. So
just don't make it your last show.
The what?
Just don't make it your last show.
Jay says Drew's gonna get choked up doing a Lou Gehrig speech like he did in the 500th episode after all these donations. Listen, no, seriously though, like I listen. I've always said point blank, I don't mind. I think one of the biggest issues we have in this world, if I get on my Miss America thing, besides needing world peace, is that people don't show appreciation enough. I feel like sometimes, and I never want to be that guy that doesn't do that. And like I said, you guys spend a lot of time coming here watching the show with us. I mean, hell, some of you guys were there for 4 hours with me on Saturday. So, so like I said, I got to give you guys the props for that. It's much appreciation. Seriously. Jay says you're about to cry that day, dude. I was not about to cry. Oh my gosh. Now, listen, I have cried at movies, though, okay? When Mufasa died.
That's not fair. That's not fair. Don't you go there. But you're definitely about to cry that day.
I'll give you a good one. You ever heard of the movie Life is Beautiful?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah. It's like a 25-year-old movie now. Roberto Benigni. It's an Italian movie about this guy living in a concentration camp and trying to protect his kid. If you don't cry during that movie, you're not human. goddammit. Point blank, not human.
That's why I stick to Arnold Schwarzenegger movies from like 1980.
Wait, what happened?
So that's why I stick to the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies from like the 1980s.
I like all
that. That's the action and blowing things up and cheesy one-liners. Just what I don't have to worry about. Running Man. Come on.
Are we making Running Man, you realize?
I do. They're making a more Stephen King accurate book, so this way you're not gonna have Jesse Ventura and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Bring everyone back. It'd be
have hilarious. An AI battle as the final.
Running Man 2. Jason's like Herm Edwards say, you got to play to win. It's possible. It's talking about Anthony said and sat through the Giants beating the Chiefs conversation. Oh my gosh. All right, let's get to the rest of the topics here at hand. Like I said, we're gonna do the topics we had planned. We'll do the defense for the next episode there. So let's talk about Elijah Chatman at the fullback position there. You saw it in fullback. he's an artist. He plays piano. But you guys saw it in the game there. This was a spot that we talked about. We saw it in practice. Talking about practice, Elijah Chatman playing the fullback position, and he played in the game. Listen, every single time he was in there, he did what he's supposed to do. And your job as a fullback is push into somebody with your fat ass and get your hands on them. Like I hate to break it down so simply here, but that's what the job of a fullback is.
You said it so
back in the day, watching Charles show me the way. I used to love watching him. But like I said, it's nice to see an old school smash mouth football. Like I really like seeing that there. So, but Kafka was talking about kind of what led up to it there. He said he did it in college. We went back to the archives and watched some of the stuff he did in college. And I think for Chat, which by the way, I've never seen him called Chat before. I like that. I like that.
Chat. Really good.
You know, by the way, Bobby Skinner in the house. I see him popping in. Let's hope they let him really practice at fullback because he can be advantage in the run game. Damn straight. But anyway, we get sidetracked here from the comment he said, and I think for Chat, just his ability to be another dynamic player like he is on defense. And he says, we brought it up to the staff and Brian Daboll and had an idea about maybe introducing him as a fullback and seeing what that looked like. So no better time than the preseason to test out before the bright lights. We wanted to see what it looked like, and I thought he did a really nice job. Like, seriously, like, I'm loving it. I really am. Like, this is a ba-da-ba-ba-ba moment here. Seriously.
He's loving it.
And again, we talked about it during the first initial change when they talked about moving him here to do both positions. What I love about it the most is, let's be honest, Elijah Chatman was a great story last year, mostly because he ran down that guy in that preseason game against against the Lions or Texans? Texans, I think, right?
Texans, yeah.
And probably the play of the preseason. Like, I love the heart. I love the freaking passion this kid plays with, point blank. But then he goes in and does this now. And now you go, okay, he's a borderline defensive lineman, but he also plays fullback. Like, now you have a second spot where you go, like, I need to keep this kid because he can do both things. It's 100%. Brilliant on his part. Absolutely brilliant on his part to get involved and get in that. And what I love is that the big topic now is also him breaking face masks. Apparently, he broke his face mask during the game. And they said that basically every time he's going out there in practice, he has broken a face mask now.
Talk about smash mouth football.
Yeah, like, I love it. That's old school smash mouth. And again, we talked about the fact that we have undersized players in a lot of key positions. And ironically enough, he's undersized as a defensive tackle. But what I love about this is he's not undersized as a fullback. But you know, is a little undersized? Most of our running backs.
That's true.
Even Scatterman, we talk about him as his bruiser back. He's not a big guy. You know, we talked about the show.
Three trunks for legs, but that's fine.
Yeah. Like, he looks small. You know, I don't trust necessarily the actual height and weight because that stuff's BS half the time anyway. It's like going to a wrestling match. This person's sitting at 8 foot tall and 575 pounds. Like
Hulk Hogan's got pythons of 28 inches. Like,
did you just say pythons, brother? Oh my god, we just now went from like Malcolm Jamal Warner earlier in the show to now Hulk Hogan. I mean, Sharon, what the? we gotta hit the we got to hit the trifecta. You know, but yeah, it's like I said, it's a nice spot for him. And again, you can't help but root for this kid, considering what he went through. You know, like the way he went through and just like I said, ran down that guy, shows the effort, and you see it when he's out there. It's not like that was a one-off. He is an effort guy, point blank, guys. He is that small kid school that comes with an effort mentality, will bust his hump. May not necessarily have the full athletic skill that you want from that position, but he will bust his freaking hump. You know, like I said, I just think that you put him now as, yeah, I see Jay's comment. I know what you're laughing about. You see him, like I said, just being that big bruiser kind of fullback and opening up holes for these smaller running backs. And it's I think it's gonna work out well. I really do. Let's see here. Let's get to the rest of the comments here. Let's see. Trying to get back to where we were there. We got Chill Daddy, who says he doesn't like Bobby Skinner, and then Bobby Skinner pops in the show. Embarrassing.
Whoopsie.
Let's see. There you go. Jay says Bobby Skinner gave Drew props like Brian Burns did to Timon Fox. He's a friend of the show. I'm the Timon Fox here. Bobby Skinner is Brian Burns. It's okay. It's okay. I'll take it. I'm still on the roster. Or am I? We'll do the defense next one. Anthony says, did you see Dave say that every time Chatman plays the fullback position, he breaks his face masks? He's a way better fullback than defensive line. You know, and it's funny because, again, you don't see. Remember we talked about it with Joe Judge. He had like, what, 3 fullbacks on the roster at one point?
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. There was just special. Like now we talk about out of the room, the running back room, the linebacker room. That's where usually you get your guys, your athletic guys, and your decent sized athletic guys from those kind of spaces that play special teams. We had like 3 fullbacks in the Joe Judge days. That's why you don't hire a special team coordinator to be your head coach. That's why, right there. But yeah, like I said, it's definitely been a fun thing to watch that there. Jason Chapman is barely an NFL player. Now they're making him out to be a 2-way player. He's our Otani, goddammit. He's our Otani. Jay said he's so undersized in that D line. Jay, another red herring. Jay says, did you guys see Daboll's post-game speech? Not exactly going to make dudes run through a wall. Listen, you want to see what happens with Daboll making people run through a wall? It's now that he's put like 20 pounds back on. He's screaming on the sidelines and flipping out. That's what it is.
That man's going to have a heart attack on that sideline, and I can't wait to see that day.
Oh my God. It's going to be bad. He's going to be like the DeMar Hamlin of the of coaching. Like it's not going to be pretty, guys. Like you see him like turn beet red. And what's worse is like, especially around Christmas time when he turns beet red with that beard and everything, you just want to put a Santa hat on him. You just want to put a Santa hat on. As Bobby Skinner says, I kind of hate Chapman even being included at DB now that you have a Carter, Golston, and hopefully Alexander. Fullback might be his better position. Yeah, I mean, I think, honestly, I like him better at fullback, but I think what you're going to end up seeing is a mixture. Who was the kid we had a couple of years ago play the defensive line it was also fullback? Remember his name? He was like I don't want to be mean about it and say a scrub player, but he kind of was a scrub player. I don't remember talking about it on there. He was undersized as well. Like I want to say he had a European name of some kind. I'm trying to remember what the hell his name was though.
Stop.
No. Here we go. Bobby's got me. Nikita Whitlock. That's exactly who it was. Nikita Whitlock. I was thinking like LaFemme Nikita kind of thing. Like, oh my gosh. Let's see here. Jay says Scadaboo's got a huge hog. If that helps host balance, what the hell?
Really puts the balls forward.
the contact balanced the tripod. What happened here? We're talking. He says, or you met his pet pig. Oh my god. He says, definitely the tripod, Jay. This is what happens.
Dude's got great photography.
You get 2 Jays in a room, and look what happens here. Oh my god. Let's see. Jay says that guy signed right off. Let's see. Bobby says Trace Ford is the new Timon Fox. You're getting replaced. God damn it. He says LMFAO. We carry 2 fullbacks, Penny and Gillespie. I can't remember how to pronounce it. Was that the guy we got from the Texans that played there for a while? I want to say. Remember we signed somebody. We're like, don't we already have a fullback? Like, what the hell? Another fullback. Let's give me more fullbacks. That's what I need. Like Christopher walking up here. I got a fever, and the only prescription is more fullbacks.
Just push the fullback. Let's go.
My name is
fullback.
Joe.
I kept the doorknob.
Only afterwards I make any coaching decisions.
See this fullback here. I had to do knob. I kept this fullback right up my ass.
Listen, there's not a lot of songs that feature the fullback. Joe Judge wants the fullback. I think we should give him the fullback.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that skit again. That's like one of the best SNL skits of all time. It's right after with sweaty balls. Jay Snow says only the Giants hire a special teams coordinator. Well, no, the Ravens did it, and it worked out very well for them with John Harbaugh. He was the special team coordinator for the Eagles, if I remember right. It's been so many damn years he's been on the team now, but I think it was the Eagles special team coordinator. Someone feel free to correct me in the chat there if I'm wrong. Anthony says Joe Judge still gives me agita. He gives us all.
Get me the thumbs.
He's like he is to the coaching world with a ragu sauce is to pasta sauce. Like it gives me heartburn just thinking about him. Anthony says Jay Ferries, we have Fat Dave's back with Jordans. This team is going to be pumped again. Damn straight. Jay says but John Harbaugh but. Jay So says McAdoo was way better than Judge with that great suit that didn't fit. Oh my god, he'll think he borrowed his father's suit that day. It was horrible. It was ridiculous, guys. But yeah, he was honestly he was a good offensive coordinator. I felt like he just wasn't ready to be a head coach. And let's be honest, the Giants really did it because they thought the room was stale with Coughlin, and they thought they were going to lose him. Which they, be very frank, they might have lost him. But sometimes you got to know when to let him go. I mean, if you're not ready, you're not ready. And I think anybody that saw him in that introductory press conference knew he wasn't ready. But who knows? Hate to give the guy props, but we all said that about Nick Sirianni too when they won a Super Bowl with him a couple years later. So, and Joe Judge looked like the best introductory press conference you ever seen in your life. We as fans were ready to run through goddamn walls for this guy.
True. All right, so you're right. So Harbaugh was special teams coordinator from 98 to 2006, and then in 2007, he was defensive coach back.
Yeah,
defensive backs coach, and then went over to
because the Patriots made Joe Judge his last year in New England a wide receivers coach.
Correct.
Just go ahead and get that.
And Belichick gave him all the praise in the world.
Of course he did. So let's see here. Jay says Fat Dave's got more swag. That's true. Damn sure he does.
And jiggle.
jiggle. like Dexter Lawrence doing his dance there. I still think Dexter Lawrence one day should do the truffle shuffle after a sack. It'd be hilarious. It'd be absolutely goddamn hilarious. Jay says Sirianni's press conference was worse than anyone's, and then Anthony says Sirianni is a punk. Damn straight he is. Jay says Joe Judge was such a blowhard. Well, apparently you knew him more than I did. Oh,
well then.
Yeah, I went there, Jay. I went there.
Kind of skeptic.
I meant to hit that button. Oh my god, it's getting a little crazy here. The show, guys. Jay says if Drew does Dexter's dance, it would be amazing. I'll tell you what. I'll make a deal with you, Jay. And I won't do it for this show because you guys already got a kickstart on this. If the next show we do live, which might be a little bit, like I said, we're not going to probably do, I think we might tape tomorrow or something like that. We'll figure out something. to do for Wednesday. Rob and I still talk about that since I'll be on a plane. But either that or Rob solo. So next show that Rob and I do together, that'll be live and not in front of Giant Stadium, because we'll probably do one from the stadium after the game on Thursday. Yeah, I'll make this deal with you. I will do the Dexter Lawrence dance if the next show on Monday we get to, I'm trying to think of a good number for this. Say $50 in super chats. That a fair number? I'm not trying to be like a greedy guy and be like $300. That's like, so $50. That sound fair?
Yeah, it's fair.
Watch Jay say no. And again, not this one. You guys already got a jump start. We appreciate the jump start, but all right.
This day comes in, puts $49.99.
He would too. He would. Jay says, Anthony says, Jay Ferris, I'll split it with you. We're making this happen. Don't chill, Daddy. Be nice to Bobby. No, like I said, we're our own thing, but Bobby's good people, man. Like I said, we always supported him from the get-go. He supported us from the get-go. Jay says, man, you finally got some super chats. Now you're getting greedy too. Oh my gosh. Anyway, guys, let's get into the next segment here. Oh, let's see here. We got to talk about a guy that, quite frankly, we've talked about pretty much this entire preseason, this entire training camp, and this entire post-draft process, basically. And that is Jaxson Dart. By the way, is anybody else's thumbnail giving Red Sonja vibes?
Ooh.
Who remembers Red Sonja back in the day? But yeah, I wanted to share what Brian Daboll said after the game there, because again, we do our live show right after the game. It's kind of hard to get to press conference quotes and stuff like that, but I found it interesting what he said, because it was a lot of positive. And again, can't really talk negative about everything Jaxson Dart's done. That's for sure. He's done a lot. He's done a lot. This guy, Bobby's like, this man named Chill Daddy is calling me Corey. Oh my god!
Fuck.
We got to pop the Ritalin down tonight.
That's why we can't get through the D, Drew. You're too hopped up on the D.
Oh my god! Whoa! Anyway, like I said, we got to get to the post game comments that Daboll said on Jaxson Dart. He said he's got good command of the operation. He sees things well. He plays fast in the pocket, ability to throw with different arm angles. His anticipation, doesn't hold on to the ball, has an opportunity to make some plays with his legs. And then talked about the one he got tripped up on. Remember, that was going to be a big play. We didn't get stopped last second there. He said the one he just got tripped on would have been a huge one. He's athletic, leadership, toughness, all the things I've talked about a number of times with him. Keep growing him, but he's played well. What I love about this quote, besides the fact that he didn't say anything negative, which I love, but here's what I really love about this. Keep growing him. He's not calling him a goddamn plant. What he's saying is he's not ready yet, guys. Let's keep developing him. That's what we gotta do. We gotta go ahead and keep developing this kid. But everything he said is 100% right. 100% right. Got good command of the operation. Like, point blank, when he's on the field, he is the leader of that offense.
Without a doubt.
You can see it. I love it. I really do. He sees things well. He's going through his progressions. He plays fast in the pocket. It's not like the game is he's sitting there forever holding on to the damn ball. Throwing the ball with different angles. We've seen that. Doesn't hold on to the ball. Again, we said that part already there, but he's true. He kind of said it twice in the same topic. Has the opportunity to make plays with his legs. We've seen him do that a couple times. So, listen, I love everything he said. And I think everything he said is well stated. I think it's valid to give him the props. But I love that he put that keep growing him thing.
That I mean, like you said, that was the best part of the whole thing. Besides not saying like, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Like, hey, talks very highly of him, but keep growing him. Even if he's playing like elite and he's being the best player in the preseason, doesn't matter. Keep growing him, because what you're doing is you're developing your future. No matter what you're doing, keep growing him.
Yep. Damn straight. Jaxson Dart, if you're curious what he said as well, because I actually love to hear what players are. You get a kind of an insight to the psyche of players. And maybe it's just because, same as I've done a lot of sales work. Rob, I know obviously, you have also, done your time in sales at that point.
Sucking up the vacuums.
Anybody who's done sales as long as you and I have, we learn to read people, and we learn to read micro expressions. We learn to read what's going on in their heads, so to speak. Because listen, guys, people are more of an open book than you realize. It's you actually spend the time to learn it. It's not that difficult. It really isn't. It's kind of scary. But Dart said, honestly, the third down that I had where the guy clipped my ankles is going to haunt me for a little bit. That's the thought that is in my head right now. But I think that's the most important thing, is us getting the win. I want us to continue to expect these kind of things as a team and build on these moments and just have fun winning and playing the game. The most important thing was to come out here and win. I love it.
Yeah.
So here's what I love. First thing, he's mentioning the big almost had. Like that, the fact that that's sticking in his brain tells me the kind of person he is. And he wants to succeed. He wants to have the big moments. He wants to be the guy that you can count on. But if you notice what he did, he moved on from it very quickly. He didn't harp on it, which tells me it's not in his head to a hindrance. Because there's some guys who have one play they're just thinking about that for hours on end, days on end, and it's driving them goddamn nuts.
Yeah.
Love it. That's a ba-da-ba-ba-ba moment.
Man, you're throwing all this fast food today.
I know. You know what it is? I'm hungry. I haven't had dinner yet. I went ahead and had a little bit of a snack when I got home. But I didn't have full on dinner, so I took a nap. Today was a nap day. That's why I'm all wired up.
Drew did not go to Golden Corral today.
I'm all hocked up on nap and Mountain Dew.
Ooh.
Yeah. This is not a wish show today. If I wanted to be a wish show, my name would be Dr. Quinn and you'd be Medicine Woman.
Hey now.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's get to the comments, guys, and then we're gonna call it a night here. We'll get to the rest of the stuff here on the next episode here. Because we are about an hour and a half in, guys. It's getting late, and you know what happens. The later we stay, the crazier it gets.
Maybe which an hour.
Let's see here. Jason it's going to be good with music and in public. Then he has to spike the football. Jason's with a Florida alligator and a hog too. You want me to hold on to an alligator and a hog?
You gotta spike. You gotta hold on to the hog, but you gotta spike the alligator.
Plus, that's at least 100.
Yeah. You're 6'7". You got this.
Oh my god, what's my height always coming up in these things? I see it in the comments later on too. Anthony says in the swamps too. I'm not going to the Everglades to do this, guys. Jason's yes, swamp side wearing a Timon Fox jersey too. Oh, Little Flames, my boys getting real zesty in this stream. We're always zesty. We are always zesty. Let's make sure we're clear on that. Jay says we're gonna make this middle-aged Florida man dance.
Dance.
You know the scary thing is, and listen, I do think about it sometimes. I'm 43 now after yesterday. Like 43.
Man, you got old. What happened?
I'm more than half age. I'm more than middle aged at this point. I'm at the back nine, guys. I'm at that point now. Scary but true. Like, what's the chance that I make it to 86? That's not normal.
It's about the average life.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to bring down the room, huh?
You gotta go home.
Deb says Jay just wants to body shame Drew. Not difficult. Mac the Giants fans, exactly. The kid seems to have it. Don't ruin him by rushing him out there. Way to keep us on task, Mac the Giants fan. Flame says Jaxson Dart is going to be a combination Kyler Murray and Josh Allen 2.0. As long as you keep him away from PlayStation and Call of Duty, I'm good with that.
I heard the new one's pretty cool though.
I don't know. I never gotten into the Call of Duty thing. I really haven't. I don't know. Jay says body shame. He's lucky. Lots of guys wish they were 6'7". I don't know why. Bobby, if you're still in the chat, I know you're like my height as well. So feel free to tell them about joint issues and hitting your head on random things and walking into spider webs that everybody else has go right below them, right above them. Like these are all tall people problems no one talks about. Anthony says,
"Yeah, you guys ever see the Star Wars movie, the first one, where it's like stormtroopers run in? Dunk. That's true.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like I've hit my head on door frames. Door frames. Anthony says, I tried to stay calm. I tried to stay against throwing him out there, but I'm on that train now. I'm just excited to see him rip it when he does. Jay says, it's coming AC. They'll probably throw him out there for mop-up duty. Then it's going to be close. And when they look at putting him for mop-up duty, if Rob and I are right, and they put him out there as the emergency quarterback, the game you stop seeing him be an emergency quarterback, he's on the active roster. That's when that'll happen. Because you can't put him out there mop-up duty as a third emergency quarterback. Like two guys have to get hurt for you to get on the field.
Correct.
So if we're right, listen, we aren't always, we like to say we are, but if we're right, then that's what you'll see it. Deb says, Jay, I was just thinking back to a chat last week when you said another content creator looks like a manatee. Oh my God. With another Florida one? Is that a Florida thing, manatee? Jason, I'm okay with Russ getting a bit of a leash, maybe losing 2 or 3 games before losing his final starting job of his career. That's an interesting part there, Jay, this whole thing. Would this be his last stop as a starter? It's a legit conversation.
Depends on what New Orleans does in the draft next year.
It's a lot of quarterbacks coming out. I don't know. We'll find out. It's interesting. I said that'll be the other day. Whenever we bench him, because we will bench him at some point this year, probably. That'll be the topic then.
Yeah.
Jay says, I'm okay. Well, Anthony says it's definitely coming. Jay and Deb, I remember the manatee comment too. Max says, now you're talking, Jay. Let's see. Low flame beard is looking good, fellas. No glazing. Listen, my beard is like all jacked up. I haven't taken for a shape up in forever.
Me too. I was talking about that earlier.
Yeah. I was thinking about trying to sneak it in before we leave, but even like the neck's getting bad. I'm too lazy to keep it up myself. That's the problem. I need to go to the barber. Let the barber do it. She does it better than I do anyway. Anthony says, Jay, I never thought you'd say to give Russ a little bit of a leash. I thought he would, but more like put him on a leash and leave him outside kind of scenario. Oh my gosh. Chill, Daddy. Be nice to Bobby. What did he do to you? Point to the doll where Bobby hurt you.
Bobby, what'd you do?
Did you talk ill of his mother or something, Bobby? What happened?
Did you bully him in high school?
I feel like he's just doing it for. I feel like, chill, Daddy. Correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free to get out of character. I feel like this is a bit he's doing now at this point. Jay says a little bit of a leash, otherwise it's going to go inverse and Dart starts and gets benched. I don't think it's going to be smooth sailing. We'll find out. This is fair comment, Jay. Anthony says, Lil Flame, Evan Neal going to be a Pro Bowl guard for the Giants next season, calling it now. Listen, I would love that. I don't think it'll happen, but I'd love it. Unless he's like that Pro Bowler that makes it because 10 other people didn't show up. Even then,
it's like, what's his face from the Ravens making it last year, 2 years ago.
Tyler Huntley, the backup quarterback, as a Pro Bowl quarterback. That's when the Pro Bowl lost all. Don't get me wrong, I didn't have a lot of respect for the Pro Bowl to begin with. That's when the Pro Bowl lost all respect right there entirely, point blank. Well, if I'm saying schedule too tough to start Dart next year, our boy will take the reins. Listen, schedule's never too tough, but I think, like I said, I think that you're either ready or not. Doesn't matter who you're playing. Now, you may not want to start him his first game ever against a really tough team. I can get that part. Again, we talked about it before where Eli back in 2004 had to play the Ravens like his second or third week. And keep in mind, that was that Ravens defense back then. 2004 was not too far removed from their extremely dominant Super Bowl run, that kind of stuff. It was still a very good defense. So, I wouldn't start him then, but like I said, they'll be smart about it. I really think they're going to be very cautious with how they handle Dart. I honestly have faith in them, which is kind of scary. I think it's mostly because they know their job's on the line. Hate to say that, that's true.
Well, and also, listen, you have the opportunity as a head coach and GM too. If you look good, what you did this year, you don't have to look great. As long as you look good and you develop Dart, instead of rushing him out there, you kind of have yourself a job next year because you're like, this is the guy that's supposed to be our future, and look what he's looking like, and look what we did right now on the stepping stone.
Yeah.
So you got to be smart with it.
And Jay said, it's not a game that stands out to start him. I mean, we do face a lot of tough defenses here. I mean, maybe the Bears game. If you really want to talk about a team at not necessarily the best of defenses to go against, the Bears makes sense. I mean, you got the Raiders really late in the season as well, and you got 2 games then. It depends on when you want to start them. It's way too early. Like I said, we have to see what Russ does and take it from there. I know you hate it, Jay, but Russ controls to a certain extent when Dart starts. How well he plays, how well the team plays with him will control some of that. Anthony says the easy start would be against the Saints, but way too early. But yes, that would probably be the easiest game. Jay says, that's a road game, I think. Let's see if the Giants look kind of good. We can probably be more open to starting him against tough teams. Yeah, I mean, that's what game 5 is it? Week 5? The Saints? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5. That's a little early. It's a little early. I'm going to give you
for the bye week.
If you want to start a little early, let's say the season doesn't go well. I'm going to say this. Keep an eye on this game. November 2nd. We play a team that a lot of people like. I don't like personally. The San Francisco 49ers. I think they're going to take a huge step back this year. And if I'm right, and by the way, they took a step back last year, so it's kind of like they already did, but people blame the injuries last year. They lost a lot of players, guys. A lot of players. So we'll see what I think that could be it there. Anthony says it is a road game. Lil Flame, I would let him ride the bench and throw Winston in the fire if needed. That's what we paid him to do. Dart is the holy grail, and we'll have many seasons to start. Like I said, we're going to see him at some point. Anthony says, yes, Saints are week 5. Jay, I think starting him later helps those shame balls keep their jobs. Earlier, there is more to screw up. Yep. Anthony says, it'll be at the November 2nd game. Ironically, I didn't even see your comment on that. That's funny because that is the same game I was talking about there. He says, I'd love to see Dart laid it up in person. Well, you can go to the game against the Patriots.
Well, listen, if that happens, that means, I'm going to take it to the Green Bay game. Just say it. So that happens November 2nd. 2 weeks later, I'll be at MetLife.
Is it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 16th.
Or
15th, whatever.
Yeah. 2 weeks later. That's the next home game after that. Yeah. So, again, we'll see. This gonna be a conversation for the next 2-3 months, probably. So
until he starts, it'll be the next conversation.
Yeah, basically. Low Flame says Dart better than Ward and Sanders. So far, it looks like that would be the case. Jay says 49ers are better than you think. Playoff team. When you go to the list of players they lost, I'm not going to. We're almost an hour and 40 in. I don't have time for that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But look up the list of people they lost. I'm telling you right now, they lost so many players. It's not even funny. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, and good players. They lost defensive tackles. They lost safety, corner, linebacker. They lost people all over that defense. So, like I said, take a look seriously, man, because it's not going to be a pretty year for them, I think. Anthony says still working on being at Thursday game. Let us know, like I said, if you show up, man. Flame, our line is still suspect, in my opinion. We play some great teams with great pass rushers. We'll see. Every year is a little different. It all depends on Andrew Thomas. 100% all depends on Andrew Thomas. Jay says Browns are crazy. I would start Sanders or Gabriel. They aren't winning anything anyways. I would, just because to me they have an extra first round pick and they want a quarterback. Remember the trade? They got the Jaguars pick next year.
Touche.
Like, if that's a team that's not getting that's going to get a quarterback next year, yeah, like that's at least what you see what you got. Watch it. Like hypothetically, if Sanders or Gabriel looks really good and they end up actually keeping them and not getting a quarterback, they're going to get so many picks. It's not even funny potentially if they got like a really low pick if they want to trade back, or they have two premier spots in the draft because the Jaguars always suck, where they can actually put some talent around them. So, yeah. And then Chill Daddy again with the Bobby Skip. What Chill Daddy? What did he do to you? What did he do? I'm telling you, listen, Chill, if I'm wrong, man, I'm gonna feel bad because I'm like laughing about it. But I feel like this is like a bit. I really do. Like I feel like this is like a comedy bit for you.
Yeah.
He's like Low Flame says Dart better than Purdy. I don't want to say that yet because
you can't say that yet. Listen, Purdy's been to the Super Bowl, or the AFC Championship.
Yeah. So he went to the Super Bowl, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He lost against the Chiefs.
Yeah. So I don't want to say it yet, but it's a possibility, especially because now Purdy's got less weapons. We'll see what happens to him. Low Flame Shanahan wishes he had Daddy Dart. Anthony says 49ers' best offensive weapon is a 30-year-old tight end.
I wouldn't go that far. He wasn't the best weapon last year either. You guys still got Ayuk over there. And you still got CMC.
Oh, see what CMC's healthy or not, but
listen,
also
CMC has the same thing that Barkley does. He's got a great year, injured year. Great year, injured year.
We'll see.
Year, injured year.
By the way, Purdy's 31. Purdy, I'm sorry. Kittle's 31.
Yeah.
He's going to be 32 in October. So, yeah. Still playing good, though. All right.
Yeah.
Got a couple more comments. We got to go. I'm trying to go through them all, guys, but we also got to get going here in a minute. Low Flame says, what quarterback going to their sophomore year is overrated in your opinion? Caleb Williams.
Yeah. Overrated? Yeah. It has to be Caleb Williams, without a doubt. Like, I was trying to think of someone else that you would try to argue with, like Jordan Downs. No, he's going to be great for a long time. When they have Riddler down in, how about Riddler last 2 years ago, like down in New Orleans? You can't say he's overrated because he was never good to begin with. Penix Jr. didn't get a chance to play. Dude from Minnesota, from Notre Dame, didn't have a chance to play at all last year.
JJ, yeah. I'm. I've never been a fan of JJ. I
was a big fan, but like you can't say it's a sophomore year. He never played.
Actually, I think Bo Nix's gonna go down a little bit.
I think he goes up.
I still can't believe the year he had. I hope I'm wrong. Like I'm not trying to root against the kid.
I think it's better. Listen, he did that with the second half of the year, not the first half of the year. The first half of the year it was terrible, and they really, really protected him, throwing the ball, and he did a lot of run plays. There's a lot of low scoring games. He came out of that season way different than how he went to that season. I think he excels. I don't think he's going to be overrated.
Well, we shall see. We shall see. I do think Penix and Jaden Daniels, my two from last year.
Yeah.
Those are the two I think could do very well.
Drake May, maybe.
Purdy was on such a stacked team. Come on, man. Throw Dart behind there. He's taking the chip. Dart hasn't even thrown a regular season pass. I'm not going to do Purdy dirty like that. That's not fair to him.
Yeah. And Purdy, he was taken late, but he's really stepped up, played great football. So,
yeah. Plus, we're talking about stacked rooms. Is Hurts worse than Dart now, too, then?
You're right.
Saying. That's where I'm at. Well, Flames, Daniel Jones might have one on that Niners team. Oh, my God. That's where now you've lost all credibility there. Oh, my gosh. I saw someone put lowlights of Daniel Jones and the Colts and like botched snaps and like passes that were nowhere near the receivers already. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, now I know how everybody was laughing at us for song. This is fun to laugh at. Like, this is. Anthony said, I think Ayuk's ACL and CMC's injury will haunt them. Yes. Like I said, I think the whole team, injuries, lost players. I think the 49ers take a huge drop. He says Daniel Jones would have lost on any team. This is Brock Purdy's going to slump. Jay says, damn, I would take Caleb's stats on NYG any day. You would have taken anybody last year, let's be honest. But yeah.
Yeah, everyone's dogging the Niners too. Like, unless they don't make the playoffs, I don't consider it a slump off year for them. And I find it very hard that they miss the playoffs in that division.
We'll see. We shall see. The chef says JJ is fire. We'll find out. I think his best move in college was handing off to a receiver, handing off to a running back. So,
or getting the excuse of tearing his messing up his knee or whatever. Right? Was this ACL? Did he tell her, or it was ACL? Right?
My head, but
something weird happened because it was like he was going to play, then he didn't.
If he looks good, and I again, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to say the honest truth here. If he looks good, it's going to be because he gets help from Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Hawkinson. Like he's got a good line. He's in a perfect scenario, and that's not me trying to diss him. It's actually trying to give respect to the Vikings for setting him up to succeed.
Yeah. The guy, what's his face? That was or Green Bay, the running back. What's his?
Aaron Jones, the ex-Packer.
Yes, Jones.
Me and running back Jones. Well, Flames says Jaden Yale is going to hit the slump. I don't think so. I hope so to a certain degree because I just hate the Commanders. Obviously, they're their division rival, but I just think he's going to be really good. Sean Jackson says, "Good evening, fellas. Dart wasn't overly impressive in both Giants training camp sessions I watched him, but he definitely looked impressive in preseason games. Not turning it over like rookie DJ. Well." I'll still say he had that one that could have been an interception in that first game. And had he been intercepted, that would have been a much different stat line. It was close. But luckily he didn't have it. But we'll see. Again, he's playing backups half the time. We'll have to see. Okay, we're going to cut through these quick because we're getting to be time. Rob's yawning. I'm holding it in, but I want to yawn.
I could help that one.
So this is Little Flames. It depends on if Scary Terry plays or not. The chef. Let's talk about Giants' offensive line. Have multiple Pro Bowlers, so I would love that day. Anthony says, Drew, you thought they were low lights, but it was really his best place this year. Little Flames is Daniel Jones getting beat at Mr. 47 completion rate. That's dog water. That's because he's 48% completion percentage. Jay says, I feel kind of sort of good about the O-line. Yeah. As long as Thomas is healthy.
That's a very fair. That's how exactly how I feel. Kind of, sort of.
Yeah. Max says, I think the Niners still have an uphill battle. The Rams are pretty good, and the Cardinals would really surprise people this year. I'll throw this in. You have no clue what to expect with the Seahawks. That's going to be a good or a bad team. There's no in between.
It's hard to say. And listen, I don't buy the hype on Arizona because people have been trying to tell me about how great Arizona is going to be since Kyler Murray went there and tell me what time they went to the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Rams are a good team, but they're also Asian.
And the Cardinals typically have a hot start and then fail. That's the way it usually goes with them. Remember, they even did the Cliff Kingsbury years. That's what it was. They'd start hot, and then they'd fall at the end of the year.
First 10 games, they might be slightly above 500, and then fall off the wagon.
Yep. Speaking of fall off the wagon, guys, we gotta get going here. So Anthony says, "Have a good night, y'all. Thanks for the great show as always, guys. Appreciate it, man." Max says that is true, Rob. All right, guys, that's gonna call it a night for us here. Again, we're gonna do our next show. We'll do the defense there. Again, we'll figure out either it's gonna be a solo with just Rob, or we'll do a taping.
Wow.
And we'll figure something out there. But we'll still have a show for you in some way, shape, or form there going on Wednesday there. So guys, again, we appreciate you guys for watching as always. Got to again give a shout out and a thank you to everybody. Well, all the super chats here today.
Yeah.
It's funny, but like I said, it was very much appreciated there. We're still waiting on 10:03 though. No kidding.
Go ahead, 10:03 as we clock out at 11 o'clock. 10:03.
Let's see here. Chill, Teddy. I'm new here to appreciate y'all. Skinners and Nerd Peace. Stop. Like he's honestly, like, seriously, he's good people. Chill, I promise. He like legit is good people. Yeah. Jason's fun show. Thanks. Little peace, homies. Again, appreciate you guys. Again, as always, we're usually live Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Again, Thursday we will be at the game, so we're gonna do something post game. We don't know if it'll be live or pop up on Friday at some point, based on what we can do, based on being mobile at the show, at the game. Again, if you're gonna be at the game Thursday, feel free to hit us up on Facebook. We'll be the two goofballs handing out business cards with QR codes. That way people learn about the show that might know about it. Plus, then it becomes one big business expense so we can use it as a tax write-off.
I'll probably be wearing a Milk Neighbor Throwback jersey with the wrong number.
Are you wearing that one?
Probably.
I don't know where you. What do I wear? Appreciate you guys for watching. As always, we are live on YouTube, our preferred platform, along with Facebook, Twitter /X, Twitch, and of course, Rob's favorite, and of course, as always, we're available the next day on all the audio podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, all the big ones there. Guys, again, if you haven't already, do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share, tell a friend about the show. Appreciate you all for watching, as always, and as always, Giant fans, go G-Man!
Go G-Man!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.